I didn't notice the space on the wall right away. It took me a few minutes of standing in my daughter's room, trying to remember why I'd come in there, before it registered that something was off. The light hit the paint differently, a faint rectangle where the color hadn't faded. She was sitting on the floor, turning the cap of a marker between her fingers. "Where's your picture?" I asked. She didn't look up. Nani took it. There was no accusation in her voice, just a statement, like something temporary, like it would come back. I found my parents in the kitchen. My mother was explaining tile samples to my sister, spreading them across the table like a deck of cards. My father stood near the sink, half listening, half elsewhere. "The painting from her room," I said. "Why did you take it?" My mother didn't hesitate. "We sold it." The words landed too cleanly, as if they had already been practiced. "For what?" She gestured vaguely toward my sister. She needed help with the house. It made sense. It was just sitting there. "It wasn't just sitting there," I said. "It was hers." My sister didn't look up from the samples. It's not like she even understood what it was. That part stayed with me longer than anything else. Not defensive, not apologetic, just dismissive, as if understanding was the only thing that granted ownership. "How much?" I asked. 120, my father said, still not meeting my eyes. 1,000. The number felt distant, almost abstract. What mattered more was how quickly it had already been turned into something else. New floors, new fixtures, decisions already made and carried out. "You couldn't unlay tile. She wouldn't appreciate it," my mother added, softer now, as if that would settle something. "Better it does something useful." I didn't argue after that, not because I agreed, but because I could feel how firmly the story had already been arranged. Any protest would just make me sound unreasonable inside it. That night, my daughter asked if her picture was coming back. "Not right now," I said. She nodded like she understood, then went back to coloring. But she stayed closer to me than usual, like something had shifted in a way she couldn't name. A few days later, my grandfather's brother came by. He moved slowly, but there was nothing uncertain about him. He asked about the family, about the house, about things that didn't matter until they did. At some point, he noticed the empty space. "Where is it?" he asked. My mother answered this time with the same calm tone. "We sold it. It helped with the renovation." He listened, really listened, not interrupting, not reacting, just taking it in like he was filing something away. Then he smiled, not warmly, not coldly, just knowingly. "The painting was never meant to be sold," he said. No one spoke. My father shifted his weight, finally looking up. "It was part of a registered collection," he continued, almost conversationally. "Your grandfather placed certain pieces under a trust. That one was assigned to her." He glanced toward my daughter's room. "Not symbolically, legally." My mother's hand stilled over the table. "There are conditions attached," he went on. "Transfer, sale, even relocation requires authorization, documentation. It's all filed." The room didn't change, but something inside it did. The renovation plans, the justifications, they suddenly felt thinner, like they'd been built on an assumption that no longer held. "No one told us," my father said too quickly. He nodded. "It was explained." Perhaps not heard. There was no accusation in his voice. That made it worse. "What does that mean?" my sister asked, finally looking up. "It means the sale isn't valid as it stands," he said. "And the proceeds." He paused just long enough. "They're not yours to use." Silence settled in, heavier this time. Not confusion, recognition. I didn't say anything. There was nothing to add. The shift had already happened, and it wasn't coming from me. Later, I went back to my daughter's room. The wall was still bare, but it didn't feel as permanent anymore. "Is it coming back?" she asked again. I sat beside her. "Yes," I said. After a moment, "It is." She nodded, accepting it the same way she had before. Quietly, in the kitchen, I could hear low voices, measured, careful, plans being reconsidered. Not undone yet, but no longer certain. No one apologized, but no one called it just a painting again.